Good evening once again, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all here. I am pharmacist Taiwo Olaweyemi, and it's such a pleasure to have you all here. Happy New Year to you all. I hope 2022 started on a great note for you, and it started on a great note for me, and I look forward to what this year holds for me personally and, of course, professionally. I hope your pharmacies, your businesses started on a great note as well. We would like to apologize for starting behind schedule. We had initially announced that we'd have the session by 12, but the same network had its own plans. There was terrible network connection as at 12. We had to send an apology message as well as a notification of the schedule. That's why we're having it at this time. And I would like to thank you all for considering it worthy to show up at this time. I would like to hear from you. So introductions at this time. Your name, where you're listening to us from, the name of your pharmacy, and what you hope to learn from today's session. So you could unmute yourself if that's fine.
Hello.
Hello, Farm Treasure. I can hear you.
I'm Treasure. I'm listening from the name. I work at Chapter Pharmacy.
Oh, Sacom Pharmacy. Great, great, great. It's great to have you here. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, what do you hope to learn from today's session? I'm Treasure. What do you hope to learn from today's session?
How to promote sales and providing solutions.
Okay, how to promote sales and provide solutions. Great. Thank you very much. Who else would like to share their thoughts with us? Your name, where you're listening to us from, name of your pharmacy, and what you look forward to learning in today's session. Anyone?
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good day.
Okay, great. My name is Ifoma, listening to you from Lagos, and I work with Tripod Retail Pharmacy in Lagos. And I look forward to exciting way of working in community pharmacy. It's getting boring by the day, so.
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure if the other pharmacists on this call bear the same thoughts as you. I mean,
no, what I mean is it's same routine every day, so I want something new.
Any way to add a sort of ginger to the party.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Now we have one more person. One more person. Can we have one more person share their thoughts with us? Can we have one more person share their thoughts with us? Okay, so let me call Farm Benson. Yes, Farm Benson, let's hear from you, sir. The name, where you're listening to us from, and what you hope to learn from today's session.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is from Sacon Pharmacy, and yeah, just to learn on this subject matter that you are presenting today. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So today, basically, we will be looking at how we can be more solutions oriented in our practice as community pharmacists. I understand what if your mouth was talking about. The fact that community pharmacy is quite monotonous and could be a bit boring if one doesn't pay attention to the tide, right? And what we aim to do at my pharmacy is to empower community pharmacies and community pharmacies to be able to deliver value in their practice, especially through unconventional means, and towards the overarching goal of promoting access to healthcare for everyone around us, for persons in our community, towards the overarching goal of advancing universal healthcare coverage. And of course, promoting profitability and stability of the business itself. Because like we all know, community pharmacy is both a business and a clinical practice, right? It's business and clinical. It's entrepreneurial and professional. So it's therefore important to pay attention to the two sides of the coin. And today, on the area of making community pharmacy more solutions oriented, we will be looking at how exactly we can provide tremendous value to our patients, and of course, how we can also retain those patients so that they become recurring clients. So the main focus of today's session will be even on customer management and customer service. That's the main area we will be looking at today. So yes, generally in community practice, we know that for us as pharmacists, our role boils down to providing pharmaceutical care to patients who come to the pharmacy, clerking our patients, dispensing medication, and on a number of occasions as well, prescribing medication. And if we want to go a notch further, we establish and strengthen interprofessional relationships with other healthcare professionals through referral of patients to hospitals, specialist centers, eye clinics, and so on. So looking at the broad scheme of things or broad scheme of practice for community pharmacies and community pharmacists, how can we distinguish ourselves as healthcare professionals who keep on providing value day by day to patients? So before we get to the meat of it, I'd like to ask us, what are the critical challenges that we have experienced or encountered in our practice, especially as we try as much as possible to provide value to our patients? So we can type in the comment section or we could unmute ourselves. What are the key challenges that we have experienced as we try to promote access to quality healthcare for our patients? Anyone, we could type in the comment section or we could unmute them. Are you speaking, ma'am? Is someone trying to speak? Key challenges that we've experienced in practice, especially as we try to provide quality healthcare to our patients. If I'm Chidi, are you trying to speak? I'd like to. Hear from you. Chidi, are you trying to speak? I'm not sure I can hear you clearly. Okay, all right. So I'm not sure whether Chidi was trying to speak or not. I couldn't hear what he was saying. So I'll go ahead to share my screen right now. Great. So like I said earlier, the crux of our discussion today will be on utilizing and leveraging customer service and customer relationship management in promoting solution-based pharmaceutical care, solution-based practice, so to speak. And for you all as business persons, I believe that you understand the importance of satisfying your patients, your clients, everybody who comes around to the pharmacy. So you understand that the role of the cleaner, to the role of the cashier, to the role of the pharmacist, to the role of the healthcare assistant, to the role of the salesperson, the role of the pharmacy manager, to the role of the pharmacy owner. Everybody has a role to play in advancing excellent customer service. Everybody has a role in ensuring that the client, the patient, has a great customer experience when they come to the pharmacy. And this, to a large extent, affects how the patients return to the pharmacy, how the patients recur So from here, we see that there is only one boss. However, whether a person shines shoes for a living or heads up the biggest corporation in the world, the boss remains the same. And the boss is the customer because the boss, the customer, in fact, can fire everybody in the company from the chairman down to the least person. And how does this person, how does the customer or the client do this? The client does this by simply choosing not to visit your pharmacy anymore. So how can we as community pharmacies and community pharmacists provide a great customer experience to our patients so that they always choose to come? It could be, of course, from the pharmacy merchandising and branding to how the patient is attended to over the counter, to how the pharmacist consults with the patient, to how follow-up is done with the patients. All of these, from the entry point of the patient to the exit, of course, exit point of the patient in the pharmacy. Every layer, to a large extent, affects how the patient perceives you, affects how the patient perceives the pharmacy, and therefore, in fact, affects the solution or whatever service you may offer to the patient on the long run. And who is this patient who is so powerful enough to crush a business or raise it to the very peak? The client is basically everybody who walks into the pharmacy, either for inquiry or for purchase. Everybody who walks into the pharmacy, either for inquiry or for purchase. And you find that customer service is the ability to identify your customers' needs, problems, or aspirations, and meet or solve them. So it is in identifying your patient's needs that you're able to properly correct them. You're properly able to administer, prescribe certain medications or dispense certain medications. It's also in identifying your patient's needs that you're able to identify whether, oh, this person needs beyond medications. Does this person need certain supplements? Does this person need certain devices, medical devices that can help this person? Does this person need further professional attention? Oh, can I reach into my network to identify a, a family physician who could be of more help to this patient? Can I link this patient to an ophthalmologist who could help this patient? Can I link this person to a gastroenterologist who could help this patient? It is in identifying first the need of the patient, the aspirations of the patient, and then you can reach within yourself and within your network to identify how you can help that patient. Customer service also involves us using the knowledge and the skills that we have garnered so far to develop techniques and relationships that will keep the customer coming back for more. There are some pharmacists who have been able to crack the code of customer relationship management to the point that whenever they are not on duty and certain patients come to the pharmacy, those patients will not allow themselves to be attended to unless that pharmacist is on ground, unless that person is on ground. Now, sometimes it may not even be the pharmacist, right? What if it's a healthcare assistant who has so distinguished himself or herself? And then the clients, in fact, begin to perceive that person as the pharmacist on duty because of the extra miles to which that person goes. And then you as the pharmacist in charge, begin to wonder, what extra thing is so and so doing that is making these patients ask of him or ask of her? So cracking the code of customer relationship management is definitely important to grant our patients excellent customer experience and to make them stay and keep coming back to the pharmacy. Of course, we don't pray that our patients will never get better, right? We don't pray that they'll never get better to the point that they'll always come to the pharmacy at every time. But we want to create a magnetic experience in their minds that will make us top of mind to them. Say there is a family member who isn't feeling well, they can always say, oh, I know an excellent pharmacist Ifeoma. She has been the one managing me for over 5 years, and I trust her with my health needs. And this person can refer a family member, refer a neighbor, refer a friend who is even far away. So whether you are in Benin or Port Harcourt or in Lagos, you can begin to consult for patients who are beyond your immediate environment because of the excellent and magnetic customer experience that you have provided for the few around you or for the many around you. Just let me know if you can still hear me. Please let me know if you can still hear me. I would like our feedback. Please let me know if you are still following. Oh, great. Thank you very much. Yes. So how then do we create the solutions-oriented approach in our practice? How then are we able to deliver better value to our patients, to create a magnetic customer experience to the point that they become recurring customers who even become our ambassadors? Customers who become ambassadors of Sapon Pharmacy. Customers who become ambassadors of Tripod Pharmacy. We want that, right? We want that. So how do we create that? So let's consider ways by which we engage our patients. On a regular day, yes, we engage patients who are walking customers. So face-to-face communication. May not even be a patient coming to the pharmacy specifically for the purpose of consultation. Maybe the patient comes into the pharmacy for an over-the-counter medication, but how you attend to that patient for that seemingly small service or product could go a long way in encouraging the patient to see you or to consult you for seemingly major conditions. So when a patient comes to the pharmacy to request antibiotics, do we just dispense the antibiotics? Or do we go an extra mile to clerk them, an extra mile to identify what the root cause could be, what the actual situation is? Do we go the extra mile to prescribe other better medications or services to the patient to say, you actually do not even need this antibiotic. All you need is multivitamin. Or all you need is just this cream to help you with this itch or something. Do we say, okay, try this medication, let me know how it goes. Or you know what, give me your phone number so that I can call you for a follow-up. And then after 2 days, you call the patient to say, hello, oh, this is pharmacist so and so. I attended to you 2 days ago when you complained of so and so and so. I just called to know whether you're doing better now. And the patient, feels great that you thought it worthy, thought it important to reach out to them to do a follow-up. And it could be in the process of a feedback, the patient tells you, oh, no, I haven't felt better because I still experience the symptoms. And then you go a step further to probably clerk them or to switch the medication or to even refer them. And in the long run, the patient gets the help that they've always been looking for. They'll definitely be indebted to you. Definitely be indebted to you. So for family farmer who mentioned that, oh, she's looking for other ways to make community practice more interesting. Have you properly assessed how you clerk patients, how you manage your relationship with your patients? Do you have a number of your patients always coming back to say, Pam, thank you so much for the other day. I felt so wonderful. I felt so good. And hey, Pam, so and so has been happening, blah, blah, blah. You find that because they have obtained great value initially, they find it easy to come back to you, even for other challenges that they may be experiencing. So if you take any one thing away from this session, I think it's important for you to do a check, a customer relationship check in your pharmacy. How do you manage your customer relationship in your pharmacy? From the entry point to the exit point in your pharmacy. From the first time a patient steps foot in your pharmacy, how do you relate to those patients? How do you manage their needs, their inquiries? Then, how do you follow up on the service that you have already offered to identify if the solution has been, if the required solution has been provided, or if an additional solution needs to be provided? Because the end goal of any dynamic and truly impactful community practice is the patient, because patients are at the center of care. Isn't that what we say when we discuss pharmaceutical care? At the center of pharmaceutical care is the patient. The patient is at the center. Patient-oriented care, patient-focused care. This is why it's important to discuss this customer relationship management, because you cannot truly provide value to your patients as a community pharmacist without considering how you manage your relationship with your patients, whether they buy or not. Because the goal, right, is to actually provide value. And the value may not even be in closing a sale at that point in time. The value may be in providing additional information to a patient at that point in time so that the patient is more aware. Our patients carry about a lot of myths and misconceptions, right? So a value at that point in time may not even be closing the sale. Value at that point in time could be in providing a reorientation to the patient. And that reorientation will make you get a customer for life. Why? Because the patient will keep submitting to your authority at every point in time. The patient will always seek your counsel for even other major conditions anytime, every time. In fact, they'll become your ambassadors because they submit to your authority. And why will they submit to your authority? Because you have provided them valuable knowledge initially. So when we discuss what solution-oriented approach entails, it's not just about closing sales. Closing sales, wonderful. That's the end goal, of course, because the business has to run successfully and profitably. But it's also about gaining the trust of the patient. It's also about the patient when they relocate from an environment, they still reach out to you. Hey, hello, fam. My family relocated last week. We've missed you. We really, really missed you. I've not even been able to find any pharmacy around here that treats me like it treats me. Do you see? And do you know that good feedback from our patients is a lot? It's a lot of leverage. It's a lot of leverage. If your pharmacy is one that has begun to explore digital marketing, say social media, these are the things you can begin to share. Sharing testimonials of your patients to say, oh, patient, of course, you would want to maintain anonymity. So you say, oh, patient A, or another name, or Madam Shade came into my pharmacy about 1 month ago, presenting with certain symptoms, and she had been trying for so long to find relief to so and so condition. But after managing Madam Shade for about 2 weeks, this is the testimony that Madam Shade has given me. I tell you, you will receive not less than 5 messages, DMs, based on that testimonial. Based on that testimonial. And those DMs, those consultations, those questions would definitely result in sales. Would definitely even bring you certain conditions that you probably didn't even know of, or certain conditions that you probably had not even managed before. Throwing in your way new and better challenges that could make you say, okay, I'm going to refer you to my gynecologist friend, or I'm going to refer you to my so-and-so friend. I'm going to refer you to a radiologist, a radiographer, so that you do further checkups. Do you see? And all of these are extra value that you add to your practice and to your patients. Well, we see this SMS customer service. So on World Health Days, for example, thank God we are still fresh at the beginning of the year. So if you haven't been doing this, I think this is something that community pharmacists can begin to do. Remember I mentioned at first, collecting patient data. So a patient comes into the pharmacy, you collect their information, their phone number, for example, for follow-up, because you want to give them better customer experience, right? What do you do even after that after that follow-up, and after the problem has resolved? What you can do is to maximize that database, for example, to check up on your patients on random regular days, or even on World Health Days. There are lots of World Health Days. You can Google all these things. Say World Heart Day, for example, or World Hypertension Day. That's important for you to share short, quick tips on hypertension to your patients. World Diabetes Day. This is you providing extra services that may not, in fact, yield monetary value instantly, but they register you in the minds of your patients. They make your patients want to submit to your authority anytime they have a health challenge. And this also goes a long way, in fact, shaping the mindset of your clients, of your patients, about who a pharmacist is. And they begin to see that a pharmacist isn't just a dispenser. A pharmacist is a healthcare professional in whose hands I can lay my healthcare challenges, my healthcare needs. You make them comfortable enough to be able to share their healthcare challenges. So are you that kind of pharmacist? Are you that kind of pharmacist whom patients will submit to your authority? Are you that kind of pharmacist? Another way by which we can engender or groom excellent customer service is through email marketing. I know very few people read their emails, so it depends on the kind of clients you have. But it's also something you can explore. Email marketing for business people, especially small business owners. Email marketing is actually a great way of building a connection, excuse me, of building a great connection with your patients. So as you get their phone numbers, their email addresses too. And then when your pharmacy begins to grow beyond dispensing and administration of medications, and say your pharmacy is even retailing certain supplements, right? You can send an email, new product alert. You see. You mean, yes, new product alert. Maybe you have one grand product that your pharmacy just started marketing. And you send an email to your patients, new product alert. And then in the email, you are itemizing the value of the medication. That could draw a patient to you. Aside sending bulk SMS to them, you can even have a WhatsApp group for your patients where you share regular health tips. And in fact, you can choose a day a month for health consultations. Wonderful. If you do all these things I'm talking about, you will no longer struggle to find ginger or spice to community pharmacy practice, because the ginger will follow you everywhere you go, like MCF. Do you see? So exploring platforms like social media, right? If you have a social media page, that's also a way. You're sharing the excellent customer experience that you've been providing to patients, and you're getting more. You're leveraging social media to get more. And through all these platforms, one thing is key: sharing health information to your patients. It gives you another opportunity to attend to healthcare needs of your patients, gives you an opportunity, of course, to share your authority with your patients so that they submit to your authority as a healthcare professional, to the end that you build trust in your patients. They find it easy to exchange their money for the value you're offering. And then they also find it easy to be retained as recurring customers, as recurring clients in your pharmacy. So if you've not been doing any of this is something you should begin to explore. If you've been doing any of this is a time to leverage what you've done before and then do it more, scale it more, scale it more. So maybe just do it once in a while. How about making it a daily goal in your pharmacy to say you're going to call a patient a day. You're going to call 2 patients a day for a follow-up. How about you choose every last Saturday of the month to give a health talk, do a nice flyer, ask a graphic designer around you to do it, or you have a young person around you who is good with Canva. Canva is an application to do certain nice designs, right? And a young person around you can help you craft something. And you just do that. A health talk, an online health talk. This is the world of webinars, right? And online masterclasses. Yeah. So you do that. And so what that does for you, it makes you it projects you as a healthcare consultant in your community. It projects you as a healthcare consultant in your community. Another thing you could even begin to explore, okay, what are extra things we can do to, in fact, get new clients, new partners for our pharmacies? I remember one of the consultations we did for one of our clients, a pharmacy here in Nigeria. And then I was telling her some of the nice things she could do for her pharmacy. She's just starting. And one of the things I told her was to look around her community to say, which partners can can I have for my pharmacy? Say school. If you have a school close by, and you could project yourself as a healthcare consultant to that school, a visiting healthcare consultant to the school. And what would that entail? You could even be volunteering that. You're volunteering your time to provide healthcare information to the students of the school, say on a monthly basis or once a term, right? And then by doing that, you are building trust. They can submit to your authority. If they have a sick bay, and if your pharmacy is close by, they can purchase the medications of their sick bay from your pharmacy. You see, that's extra sales, an alternative to the walk-in clients that you would normally have, right? And what else does that do for you as a pharmacist, as a healthcare professional? It boosts your profile. If you're not on LinkedIn as a professional, you should be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. And on LinkedIn, you can begin to project yourself as a health solutions provider. So that shows that you're a pharmacist with a difference, a health solutions provider. And you write that you're a visiting health consultant to a school. That boosts your personal brand as a healthcare professional. In fact, that begins to bring customers that you would never have thought that you would have if you relied on walk-in customers. Of course, that will throw new challenges your way, because that shows that you need to up your game intellectually, boosting your knowledge, right? And of course, it just expands your sphere of influence. Tell me how community pharmacy would be boring. All of these things will definitely add the spice and the ginger to your practice, because you will no longer be a regular community pharmacist. You'll be a pharmacist with a difference. And when those patients, when those clients, those customers, when they come into your pharmacy, when they have that interaction with you, what should they expect from you? Will they find someone who is friendly, someone who would project friendliness, who will project authority, who will project likability, who will project empathy, who will project control of the situation, someone who would show that they know their onion. These are the things that customers want from you. So it's not just, in fact, about attracting the customers. It's also about retaining the customers. And it is when you're able to give them a magnetic experience, that's when you can retain them. And that's why you can even have high turnover, them becoming ambassadors of your pharmacy. When you've given them a magnetic customer experience. So for you and for every pharmacist in your pharmacy, for you and for every employee in your pharmacy, all these qualities are qualities that you should strive to project to your patients when they come in, whether as walk-in clients or even as telephone consultations. Even over the phone, you can tell the tone of a person's voice, and you can decide whether that tone is friendly or not. You can decide whether you want to keep talking to the person or not. So patients, even when they are angered, even when they act badly, they still expect that as the solution provider, we would be calm and kind and polite. It's something we definitely need to do, because we know that we encounter patients who are very naughty, patients who are troublesome, patients who are bad-tempered, right? So as they come in their shades and colors, we've got to project an atmosphere of friendliness to these patients. Dressing. Are you the pharmacist who would show up in the pharmacy without your word coat? If you've been doing that, you need to do better. Why can't the word coat be mandatory in your pharmacy for every pharmacist in your pharmacy? So whether it's the local pharmacist, the full-time pharmacist, the superintendent pharmacist. Why are they not on their work clothes? Why are they not properly dressed? Why are they not formally dressed? Why do they wear sandals to work? Even to the cashier, why would they wear sandals to work? Why would they not project a professional tone to the patients? Image is everything. When I perceive you as an excellent person, even if I haven't tasted of your service, when I perceive you as an excellent person, as an excellent professional, I will relate with you in that regard, in that light. So perception is everything. Perception is everything. So who do your patients perceive you to be? What do your patients perceive your pharmacy to be? What do your patients perceive your pharmacy staff to be? You need to begin to think of that. The year is still young. It's a great time to begin to take a review, a critical analysis of your customer relationship management. From the entry point of the client to the exit point of the client and the pharmacy. Empathy during the transactional process, of course. You show empathy to the patient, giving listening ear to the patient, showing the patient that you understand what they are saying or that you desire to understand what their challenge is. Do your patients feel like you give more attention to certain patients and less attention to certain patients? Do your patients see you as a person with authority? Or do you always have to run to Medscape every time? Or do you always have to run to Index every time? Do they perceive you as someone with authority? So building authority may mean that you could take an online course in medication therapy management. It could mean that you take an online course on HIV treatment and management. It could mean that you take an online course on management of hypertensive crisis, hypertensive emergencies, and so on. It could mean that you could take a master's degree in public health if required. It could mean that you sign up to be a part of the West African College of Pharmacy. I think that's it. Yeah. So anyway, you need to build knowledge. You need to explore that. Is this what you want to do? What mark do you want to make in community practice? That's a good place to start. What mark do you want to make in community practice? Because we are now entering into the space of specializations, right? And this is what is obtainable in the corporate space. And very soon we'll begin to find that in high demand, even in areas like clinical practice. So patients would want to visit a pharmacy where they know that the pharmacist has great knowledge or authority in pediatric care because they want the best for their child. Or someone wants to go to a pharmacy where the pharmacist has extensive knowledge in geriatric care because they want the best for their mother or their father. Or they want to visit a pharmacy where the pharmacist has extensive knowledge in diabetes management because they want the very best for their diabetic friend or their diabetic child or their diabetic parents. So you want your practice to be interesting. How have you delivered value to yourself so that you can deliver value to the patient? That's a critical question. How are you delivering value to yourself so that you can deliver value to the patient? And it is in being able to submit to your authority that they build trust and they can know that they will rely on you for anything related to healthcare. Because they trust that if you don't even know what to do, you will ask around for their sake. You refer them. to wherever they need to be? Can your patient trust you? That's a critical question. Can your patients trust you? Trust you to do what you say you will do. Trust you to do what you say you will do when you say you will do it. Can they trust you to treat them right the first time? Or will they be worried that, oh, if they refer someone to you, it may be a bad experience for the person? Can they trust you that they will experience utmost satisfaction from your service, from your pharmacy? Note that someone who is dissatisfied will waste your time in telling others around them. So are you positioning your pharmacy? Are you positioning yourself to be a consistent, excellent performer? To be a consistent, excellent performer. So as you begin to think about customer management, customer relations, customer service, note, yes, customer is king, right? Customer is always right, yes. And even in reality, when patients, because personalities differ, right? And scenarios or circumstances could also differ, where the patient or the client is actually at fault. But you know that because you want to advance or promote customer service, excellent customer service, you want to show the patients that you care and that they matter. So you want to allow them have the win of the day, right? You want to allow them have the win of the day. And that definitely impacts how they will feel about you and how they'll feel about your pharmacy. So because patients' complaints are bound to happen, how exactly can we manage these patients? How can we manage unhappy clients? How can we manage dissatisfied patients? You've got to listen. Listening is a very, very underrated skill. Listen. To listen to the patients, to listen to actually all the partners involved, all the parties involved. And then you need to identify what the real need of the patient is. What's this patient looking for? Is this patient just looking for someone who will say, oh, ma, you're right, and I deeply apologize, and the person is fine? Or the patient who wants to be paid back? Or the patient just wants you to show that you understand and that you care? You've got to critically analyze for a situation. What is this patient looking for? What does this patient want? And how can we placate this patient? Yeah, we were customers are like children. They want to be pampered. They want to be pampered. Oh, you said you were going to follow them up, but you didn't. Now the situation is out of hand. What do you do? How do you want to manage that? What are some of the wrong responses to patients' complaints? Proving to the patient that they are wrong. This would definitely aggravate the entire situation. It would definitely aggravate the entire situation because you're telling the patient that they are wrong. Oh my! And then if the patient is a badly tempered person is going to raise the roof. And that will definitely affect your service to other patients. If you try to prove to the patient that you're right as well, that could actually lead nowhere for you and for the patient at that point in time. But if you're trying to show to the patient that they are at fault, no. And you show the patient that it's not your fault, then whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Many times we may need to take the blame for what isn't our fault, actually, especially when it comes to managing our patients, managing badly tempered patients, or managing quite difficult situations. Sometimes we may need to take the fault. Our pharmacy may need to take the fault. There are also times, of course, when we may need to stand our ground because something isn't acceptable. There definitely will be such time. Another wrong way to handle patients' complaints is to prove that no one is to blame. the patient wouldn't take it lightly. Telling the patient to calm down. Some of them may be aggravated by this. Calm down, ma, calm down. Why are you telling me to calm down? Why are you telling me to calm down? You know how some patients could blow things out of proportion. So, what are some of the right ways to respond or to manage patients' complaints? Listening, I already mentioned that. Listening. Listen in a calm, empathetic way. Listen in a manner that shows that you care, that you're willing to understand what their standpoint is, that you're willing to understand what their need is so that you can try your best to meet that need. Yeah, you apologize. You be humble enough to apologize because the patient is at the center of all that we do. The patient is at the center of care. The patient is at the center of sales. The patient is at the center. So you want to do your very best to ensure that the patient still feels good about themselves and about the situation. So this may require you to tender an apology to say, we're terribly sorry for this. We take the blame for this and we'll do our best to prevent a recurrence. So what can we do to make it better? It will give you a 10% discount. Or we'll give you this just to say, just to show our sincerity, our sincere apology. To solve the problem. Solve the problem. It's important to solve the problem and, of course, prevent a recurrence of that problem. It's also important to thank the patient, thank the patient, thank the patient. Many of us may have experienced this. I know I experienced it regularly at First Bank. On entering the bank and even on exiting the bank, the security guard would always say, thank you so much for visiting First Bank. You have a great day. Thank you for visiting First Bank. You have a great day. Or thank you for visiting First Bank. You're welcome. As much as that may sound rehearsed because they were taught to do that, it also goes a long way to show the intentionality of the organization to make their staff members, to make their security guards project a welcoming demeanor and to give customers a good experience when they step foot in the bank. So this is something you want to explore in your pharmacy to say, when a patient walks in, the security guard stationed, if you have a security guard, stationed at the entry to the pharmacy, is responsible for welcoming the patient to say, good day, ma, you're welcome to Sacom Pharmacy. And on exit, thank you so much, ma, for visiting us today. You have a great day. Or the cashier at the payment point is the one, upon giving them their receipt, is charged with that responsibility of thanking the patients as they turn to leave, to say, thank you so much, ma, for visiting us at Sacom Pharmacy. You have a great day. And with a smile. So it doesn't have to be feigned. It doesn't have to be formed. It doesn't have to be fake. It could be sincere. It could be sincere because the person understands the importance of creating a magnetic customer experience. In fact, some patients pay attention even to the little things, the littlest of things. And as little as a smile could make a patient return to your pharmacy. I have a pharmacist friend who shares in her WhatsApp status every time the compliments she gets from her patients, all because she smiles. To the point that they even give her tips. She does her job excellently, diligently. But because they see the manner in which she dispenses her duties, they are drawn to her, drawn to the pharmacy. They will always ask for her because they like how she creates that magnetic, excellent customer experience for them. Are you creating this in your pharmacy? Are your pharmacists start creating this in your pharmacy? You need to begin to think of this to the point that they would leave 1, 2, 3 pharmacies on their way just to come to your pharmacy. To the point that even if a medication were out of stock, they would wait for you to purchase that medication so that they can come back to your pharmacy to get it. They wouldn't mind dropping their phone number to say, please call me when this medication is available. I will wait till you're able to get this medication. Or in fact, even if they have to go elsewhere to buy it, they'll come back to you. Sam, please tell me, how will I take this medication? And sometimes they would wonder, why weren't you advised on how to take the medication when you bought it? But they feel insecure until they hear from you. They feel incomplete until they hear from you. They feel dissatisfied until they hear from you. Are you creating this kind of experience in your pharmacy? So when we talk about a solution-based approach in community pharmacy practice, it's not so grand. It's in the little things, as little as a smile in attending to a patient, as little as politeness in attending to a patient, as little as showing that you can go the extra mile for your patient, as little as showing authority and building trust in your patient, so that when you have to recommend a more expensive medication, they wouldn't think twice. If they had to refer them, they wouldn't think twice. They would feel secure in your recommendation. They would feel secure in your prescription. They would feel secure with your consultation. So if you've not learned anything from today's session, don't forget this. A key to do after this session is for you to go back to your pharmacy to do a critical analysis, a critical appraisal of your customer relationship management. It may require you to sit in your pharmacy and pay attention for a week, 2 weeks, a month. How have we been managing our patients from the entry point to the exit point? How have we been managing our patients? How? Look at all these key points we have mentioned. Have we been truly listening to our patients, patient by patient? Have we shown each patient that each of them is important? Have we invested in creating a magnetic, excellent customer service, customer experience for each patient? So that's your assignment. All of you who have counted it worthy enough to join today's session. You need to begin to think of that. The following responses and behaviors are also ideal for customer complaints. Handle every customer as if he or she were our only ones. Amazing. Amazing. So let's not treat our customers or clients as if, oh, if you don't come, really don't care. No. So this means that we should show our patients that they really, really care. That they actually care. Place no blame, solve the problem. Solve the problem. Maybe there was a delay in delivery of a medication if your pharmacy does online delivery and the patient is angry, livid. Why would you do this? We expected the delivery to take only 20 minutes and it's taking over 24 hours. Why would you do this? You know, so you've got to solve the problem. Assume total responsibility for making it right. Show concern and sympathy. Do your best to help the patient in that situation. Show that you're genuinely interested and follow up. Follow up is very important. Follow up gives you the feedback that you need. Follow up gives you the feedback that you need. Feedback may be positive, may be negative. If it's positive, it shows you've done something well. If it's negative, shows you that, oh, something more needs to be done. And you can sit up and do what you've got to do. Go the extra mile for your patients. For us at Advantage Health Africa, one of the key things that we talk about is going the extra mile for our patients or for our clients. Going the extra mile. Show respect to all your patients. No matter the age, the personality, the status, the appearance, show respect to all your patients. So here are some quick facts that I would like to share with you. A typical business shares only from 4% of dissatisfied customers. What happens to the other 96%? They quietly go away and most of them will never come back. Most of them will never come back. And some of them may discourage your potential clients from visiting you. It's 5 times more expensive to attract a new customer than to keep an old one. 5 times more expensive to attracting new customers than to keep an old one. So that means that it's important, it's wise, it's business savvy if you do your best to retain your current customers and turn them into ambassadors of the gospel of pharmaceutical care in your pharmacy. 75% of customers will do business with you again if their problems were handled positively. Positively. So what solutions are you offering to your current clients? What solutions are you offering them? Health information, I've already spoken about that. Through text messages, sharing health information with them, you can decide to do a monthly health talk, right? In fact, you can even use it as a platform for interprofessional collaboration. If you see that your patients have a peculiar challenge, you can invite a specialist. Who says we can't invite doctor friends or even a nurse or even a physiotherapist or any healthcare professional whom you think will be able to speak to the need of that patient or to the needs of your patients as a whole. It becomes a shared platform, and patients know that if they need anything regarding their health in this life, they can always trust you. They can always trust you. So are you positioned as that authority? Are you positioned as that authority? So when you provide superior customer service, it leads to strong customer base and customer loyalty. It serves as a good marketing tool to gain more customers. Really, you can be right where you are and you're consulting with patients 3 states away from you because someone in your network, someone in your customer base told them about you. The world is indeed a global village, notwithstanding the divides by distance, by ocean, mountains, rivers, and seas, right? Technology has collapsed the divides. In fact, when you find that you're having so many phone consultations, you can even put a price to it to say, okay, a one-on-one consultation with pharmacist, a one-on-one consultation with pharmacist treasurer will, I'm going to charge 5,000 naira. I'm going to charge 3,000 naira. I'm going to charge 2,000 naira. So how can you begin to retain your customers? Create brand recognition so that anywhere, any day, anytime, they know that, oh, it is your pharmacy, second pharmacy. From the way the pharmacy looks, smells, to the point where they are attended to by the pharmacist over the counter. All of these, this creating a brand recognition is important. So you don't want to have a pharmacist, a patient come into your pharmacy and they just feel turned off by how the pharmacy looks or smells, or how someone looks or smells, or how the person attended to them. Remember I mentioned that creating an excellent magnetic customer relationship experience for your patients begins from the entry point to the exit point of the patient in the pharmacy. So every aspect is important. Every aspect is important. Every aspect is important. Seek regular feedback. Feedback is important. There is no way you can get feedback if you do not get details from your patients. And feedback, patient feedback, customer database, so important, even at the point of selling a pharmacy. If you choose to sell your pharmacy, that's one thing you can sell. You can put a price to it because it's not easy to garner great feedback from your patients. It's not easy to build a large customer database. You should have been doing something well. So if you haven't been doing this is something you need to begin to explore. This is 2022. Out of everything we've discussed so far, what have you been lazy to do in your pharmacy? What haven't you done well so far in your pharmacy? What have you done well so far in your pharmacy? What do you need to start doing in this new year, in this new business year in your pharmacy? You got to begin to think of these things. Make it easy for for your customers also to provide feedback. So it depends on the patients, right? Some of them are fine with emails. So if you collect their emails, their email addresses, that could be one way. Let them fill a survey, a questionnaire through Google Form, right? Could even be printed and then you fill it, you share it to them. And every time a patient comes into the pharmacy and tells them, apologies, ma, this will take you just less than 3 minutes. We'd like to hear from you. And then they fill it. And that just gives you information. You're able to analyze the information, the data you receive. And that can help you improve what you haven't been doing well and to intensify or scale what you've been doing well. Listen, listen. Listening cannot be overemphasized. Listen and act on the feedback you receive immediately as well. In all, did you remember that every unhappy customer means bad publicity? And you want good publicity, don't you? You want good publicity. And word of mouth is the best form of publicity, best form of advertisement. Because when someone has tasted of the goodness of your hands or of your pharmacy, they can tell every other person in their network. They can tell every other person they know. They can make other people to be drawn to you because of that magnetic experience that you have provided. And happy customers will pay. They'll pay the price and they'll pay on time because they submit to your authority, because they trust you. And then if you have an extra service you want to launch in your pharmacy, you can launch with those happy customers because you know they will submit to your authority, they will trust you. So if you decide that you want to add an extra service in your pharmacy, say you want to begin to do home service for your patients, you are the people. You are the people. Say you want to add a non-conventional service like eye screening, breast check, any extra health service. These people will form your pilot study. They will form your pilot study because they trust you. They know you, they like you, and they trust you. The KLT factor. People who buy are the people with whom we have attained a strong KLT factor. They know you, they like you, they trust you. You need to begin to think of that. Unhappy customers will cause you a lot of financial losses. A lot of financial losses. So you want to do your best to create a happy customer experience for every walking client, for every telephone call client, every client you get through any means whatsoever. And this is also a call for you to pay attention to those clients who are unhappy, those clients who keep complaining. This is a call to listen to what they are saying. Do you see? So listen, what exactly are they complaining about? Is the allegation true? Is it true that you did that? Is it true that you didn't do that? That could make you begin to pay attention to an area where you overlooked, so that you do better in that regard and you can prevent a reoccurrence with other patients or other clients. Because people who complain many times, they actually have a legitimate reason to. So you want to identify what the problem is so that you can do the needful. Yeah, so the second point here. The complaining customer represents others who won't say a word. And that's very true. So you should be grateful when your patients complain then. Because they could as well say nothing and go their way and maybe never return to you. But they choose to speak, that means you should choose to listen and act on what they've told you about. The complaint is actually a wake-up call of what your customers really need. If you pay attention the complaints of your patients. That can help you see what else you need to do to improve your services. You see why feedback is important. Probe your patients, collect them, seek feedback, seek feedback, seek feedback. When they are done complaining, they will talk with others and there will be bad business for you. That's why it's important to listen, placate your complaining patients, solve the issue, find a way to give them a compensation. It could be through a discount. It could even be through a follow-up call to say, apologies for this, we didn't mean to do so and so. We hope everything is fine now. What can we do to help you? Do you see? As simple as a phone call, as simple as a text message, will go a long way. And when you fix the complaints, they wouldn't have anything against you anymore. They wouldn't have a reason not to patronize you. They wouldn't have a reason not to visit you because you fixed the complaints. In fact, they begin to see you in a better light because they're seeing your sincerity, your willingness to go the extra mile, your willingness to satisfy the patient at all costs. In fact, that could draw them to be true ambassadors for your pharmacy. So if you've learned nothing from this session, don't forget this. Go back to your pharmacy to do a critical analysis of your customer relationship management. And when you do that critical analysis, what key actions will you take? Because this is a call to action. You've got to be response ready so that you can respond to the needs of your patients adequately. This is a call to action, a call to personal excellence, a call to professional excellence, a call to business excellence, a call to magnetic and excellent customer service. This is a call to action. And it's important for you to know that it is through consistent practice that experts emerge. It's through consistent practice, consistently doing the right things, that great businesses emerge. So what are you committed to as a person, as a pharmacist, and as a pharmacy too? What's your business committed to? Are you committed to excellent customer service or not? Do you strive to give your patients a magnetic customer experience or not? I hope you've learned from this session. Thank you very much. So please let me know if you have any questions so that we can.
Thank you, pharmacist, for. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Taiwo, yes.
Thank you, Taiwo, for this session. You actually hit the nail on the head. These are the points you talked about are things that we try to imbibe in our practice, and definitely we've seen some results. So it just goes to confirm that we're actually doing the right thing. So it's left for us to improve on that, to be more sensitive to the situation, and at the end of the day, ensure that the customers are satisfied and they'll be able to come back and possibly refer us to their families and friends. Yeah, thank you.
I can hear you. Amazing, great. Thank you so much. And it's in satisfying or meeting the needs of the patient that you're even able to see, okay, what extra thing can I even do to take it a notch higher? What services, what extra services can I offer so that these patients can be retained, so that these patients can be more drawn to the pharmacy? And in the long run, you'll find that you not only retain your current patients, you have more patients, bigger customer base, better opportunity to increase profitability. And if you want to expand your business to more than just a community pharmacy, you want to expand it to even marketing and distribution of medications. I believe Alpha Pharmacy started as a community pharmacy, if I'm not wrong. And now they are distributing and marketing medications, right? They are more than a community pharmacy. But it begins with what we are doing with what we currently have. How are we managing this seemingly little thing that we have in our hands? And the customers are at the center of it all. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm glad that you've seen that you've been doing well so far. This is definitely a call to action to do better, to intensify what you've been doing, and to still pay critical attention to the overall scheme of things. Identify what you may not be doing well. So this area and overall build a magnetic customer relationship with your patients. So actually, if you've been receiving feedback or asking for feedback from your patients before, you may want to maybe organize the process of seeking feedback. You may want to look at the process of data collection from your patients. What have you even been doing with the patient information you've been receiving? After the first round of feedback, what happens? Do you close off the chapter, or do you still try to maintain the relationship with your patients even after the one-time feedback you may have received from the patients? So all of these are definitely important. All right, thank you so much. I believe that you've received value from this service. And I do look forward to seeing and hearing of the overall impact that this will have in your business going forward. I wish you a great 2022 ahead. Actually, if you have any question or any other
yes, I do. Yes, I do. I noticed you're recording this session, and I just want to ask if we would get the recording. Would you be sending out the recording of this session?
Yes, okay, yes, I will share the recording. I would like to clarify, did you get the notice of this session through text message or email? Or both?
Email. Okay, I got the notice. No, I got the notice. No, listen, I got the notice through a text message. Then I did the registration via email, and I got the updates via email. So I got the notification via text message. Yeah.
Okay, great. No problem. I will share the information with you. I'll share the information via email.
Okay.
I'll share the information via email.
All right, that's great.
I know that I'm on the Stockholm group, so I can also send it to you via WhatsApp as well.
Okay, no problem. That'll be great. Anyway, it's great. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, yes.
All right.
I think it will also be wonderful if your pharmacy staff can all watch it as well.
Yes.
Definitely speaks to everyone who is a pharmacy staff member, because it's important. It's a collaborative activity. Everyone has to be involved.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
All right. Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you gained a lot from this session as well. Thank you. Do have a fantastic evening and enjoy the rest of your week.